Zach Higgins gets the start for Israel. Christian Del Bianco will start here for Canada as the sticks are down. Ball is down, blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. As Jake Withers wins the opening draw, and he'll move right towards the goal. As he'll play it back to Brian Cole. Scratches here for Team Canada. Let's get those off right off the top here as Robert Church in possession of the ball. As he'll move it near side here to Shane Jackson with 15 on the shot clock. Across to Dean Smith it goes. A bounce shot low, and Higgins will handle that. Mike Poulin, third goaltender here today. Zach Courier and Mark Matthews are the other two scratches for head coach Glenn Clark of Team Canada. Down the wall is Adam Wolf, who's had a nice tournament for Israel so far. He's got it to Jean-Luc Chetner, looking for the hook pass inside, and shoots it on his former Junior A goaltender in Del Bianco, who makes his first save. Always important for the goaltender to make your first stop.
Especially when you've had to sit out completely in the first game, you sit as the backup for the second game. It's been a while, and you know Del Bianco likes to play.
Eli McLaughlin back in the lineup. Here's Curtis Dixon with that half jersey tuck. Big Wayne Gretzky fan, and that's why he does that. Here's McLaughlin, high shot, and that hit a stick on the way in as Flapin knocked that one down. And here's Big Tim Semish back the other way. Canada back on defense. Semish undeterred as he'll make the turn in the corner and pass back and make the change now. As Israel will settle a possession here with Isaac Bach. Jason Noble on him. There's a hard pick in the back, and the shot from Bach goes wide, held in play here by Bergman. He'll dart away from Withers. Matt Beers will pick up, ride him into the corner. There's the double executed perfectly. And Canada turns the ball back over late in the shot clock as Noble will cross center.
Not a lot of support from the Israeli players as Bergman got pinned in the corner. You can see he managed to shovel it through the double team, but there's nobody there to pick it up and try and at least get a shot for a reset.
Then McIntosh back in Canada's lineup after finishing up PLL duties. As he took that shot, he missed the game against Team England a couple of days ago as Canada had the day off yesterday. As Israel coming off a big-time 8-7 overtime victory over Team England yesterday. And that was a huge win for the Israelis. As Challen Rogers wearing 68 here for Canada. You'll notice him, Jean-Luc Chetner, and Taylor Stewart of the USA all wearing number 68, all former teammates of the Coquitlam Junior Adnaks. As Dean Smith with the shot in 92, and he was first through the crease to touch the ball. And it'll be Israel possession here as we're nicely underway. 2.5 minutes in, shots on goal 2-1. Scoreless between Canada and Israel. And they're on offense right now. Dan Coates marked up. From the outside, 13 on the shot clock, a drive low there from Hopper as he gets away from one man. Hopper inside, kick stop, and a beauty there for CDB.
Nice cut by Hopper to get through, and he's a very shifty little player.
Bergman will re-trigger the offense here. As no Deckelbaum, I'll get you the scratches here for Israel momentarily, and Deckelbaum probably the most notable out of the lineup here for Israel. But Andrew Kruder, Kevin Harper, and the aforementioned Deckelbaum out of the lineup as here's a delayed call on Israel as Del Bianco, maybe the fastest goaltender to the bench on a delayed call, will hop onto the Canadian bench, and out comes the extra attacker in form of Ben McIntosh. McLaughlin with room, down to the crease for Shane Jackson on a quick stick tuck, and wipe out the delayed call. It's 1-0 Canada.
Yeah, you know, Christian Del Bianco often passes defenders as he's making his way to the bench, but nice ball movement by Canada, and that backdoor quick stick is a staple, and sweeping in so quickly. It's awfully hard to defend these Canadian forwards when there are only 5 of them out there. You get 6, and it becomes virtually impossible.
And Shane Jackson, the one of the best from that little area on the floor right there, seems to have the knack to find the back of the goal from almost impossible angles at times. As we'll go back to center, it looked like Withers an early move, and it was, as Kadish will get possession here for Israel.
Canada's first goal, scored by number
There's the announcement on the Canadian goal.
The assist to number 51, Eli McLaughlin, and to number 17, Curtis Dixon.
Dixon and McLaughlin pick up assists on the goal from Shane Jackson, and Canada will pick up a loose ball courtesy of Robert Hope. And here comes Rogers right down Main Street. Passes over to McIntosh. Pass was tough to handle, but the captain, Chris Corbeil's got it. As he'll pass from one red head matching stick to another. As on comes Jackson with the same one as well as Dobie into the middle. Flip it to Jackson. Just left the ball behind as he was streaking towards the goal, as Udding will push the tempo back the other way. Israel just down 1-0. Shots 3-2. They have the ball in the stick of Adam Wolf into the middle of the floor. He'll move it to Bergman. Trying to get around Rubish. Good luck with that as the hulking defender just stands him up. Now Hopper loading. He'll shoot it. Del Bianco looking behind him, but he's got it trapped up in the 7 holes. He squeezes the arm up against the midsection.
I don't think it's a big surprise to anyone, but at this point, I would say Kyle Rubish has probably been the best defender in this tournament. He has just been stripping balls with his one-hand strip check. I mean, he's been unbelievable.
The strength in his arms is incredible. The way he can dislodge balls with one hand on his stick. Nobody else in the sport can do it like Rubish. Here's Dixon on the run. Subbert and Higgins stops that one, but there's party on Bobby Church losing his helmet, and that's going to draw a call every time.
It's going to be Matthew Flapin going to the box. Will be just 2 for legal cross-check. You know, you mentioned Dan Deckelbaum being out of the lineup, and it was interesting. He was going to be in yesterday and then went down with an injury in the warm-up. Adam Fishman stepped in, and they said, Fish, need you to play, and you have to play lefty today because he can shoot either way. He's like, okay.
I've heard
switches
that.
it up, plays lefty, scored 3 goals, including the overtime game winner.
No paying dividends there. Dixon with room. Pass off Dobie, looking for a side. Higgins, good stop there. And that's really going to have to be what Israel is going to have to do. Zach Higgins is going to have to absolutely stand on his head here just to give Israel a chance. And facing 5-on-4s will not help matters. Jackson, Dobie, Church. Here's Dixon. He'll shoot it. That one's blocked. It'll stay in play as he goes to the corner boards for a loose ball. Still 13 on the shot clock. Serves one to Dobie. Cross it goes to McIntosh, and he missed the goal. Still 8 on the shot clock here as Dobie will bring it back in. Just outside the circle. There's Church over the top. Higgins will steer that one into the corner. Udding taking off to the bench. And I'm not sure why. As Canada comes up with the ball, he'll recover in time. But Canada, another chance as McIntosh rings the far pipe. Now Church loads up. He'll flip it. Here's Dixon tucking inside. One-handed shot there. And Higgins down, makes the save.
I don't know if you felt this, but I felt the first couple games Canada was looking very deferential, as they tend to be when they have a bunch of stars, everyone trying to prove they're a team player, and it's looking early in this game like they're getting more prepared to take their shot when it's there. They're realizing it's not selfish, it's just what you got to do.
Well, if there's one coach that's going to pick that sort of thing up, it'll be Kurt Malosky on the offensive end, and he didn't turn off too many shooting opportunities back in his career either. As down in the corner, late arm to go up, and that's a bit of a softie coming here to Chris Corbeil. Well, if you got the officials in off the top, maybe you can check the game sheet there, Stamper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the Zebras in.
Yeah, head referee tonight is Justin Kitashima, also Radek Kostel, and Cam Anderson with William Hardy.
Cam, don't call me Campbell Anderson, the third official here tonight. And that's why I left the officials to you. A couple of international ones there, Stamper. I tried to throw you under the bus. You did well.
Thank you.
So now, 4-on-4 lacrosse here for the next 25 seconds before Israel goes to a man advantage. As in steps Jean-Luc Chetner. Here's Wolf. Chetner, he's got a great outside shot, and Del Bianco knows he likes to shoot high with it and stood tall to take that one off the shoulder. Rubish looks up floor. McIntosh wanted it, but Rube says, no, we're about to go down shorthanded, and let's possess this one.
Probably would have been a force that he made that throw.
But if anyone was catching that one, it was 90 in flight, as those two have hooked up on that play a number of times in their careers. Dobie double team nicely, and the ball comes loose here for Semish. Jackson will run him down from behind, but Semish keeps it coming forward. It's a power play now for Israel here for the next 75 seconds as we have 7:45 to go in this first quarter. Canada leading 1-0, outshooting Israel 8-3. They'll get set up in that horseshoe formation. Aggressive defense, as always, from Hasek. And he almost forced the turnover, and now he will, as a little bit of panic there from Zach Paul, who didn't really need to bat that ball. I guess it was late in the shot clock anyway, but had more time than I think he thought.
Yeah, I don't think he realized he had time to at least pick it up and toss it in the corner, and even try to rip a shot, probably, and try and get a reset.
Now 50 seconds left to kill as Eli McLaughlin controls half wall as Dixon inside. Left unmarked, shorthanded, and Zach Higgins making a real good stop there off of Superman.
Coming post to post and keeping the holes closed. Coming across, so difficult to do. Not leave something for Dixon to find.
Hopper, Wolf, and you got Isaac Bach on this near side. Bergman and Schittner across the way. Here's Bergman, sidearm, and he's played well for Israel so far. There's a nice little swim out of the zone here for Cole, who has the neck to play both ends of the floor as well.
Did play forward the other night.
Looking leaner is Cole coming into this tournament as well than I've seen him in years past.
It's partly the jerseys, I think. They're very form-fitting.
Maybe I should throw one of those on, Stamper, and see how it looks.
I'd join you. I'd get one of those. Takes 10 pounds off. I'd get about 5 of them.
Here's Shane Jackson, 5 on the clock. Dane Smith. And stick save nicely done there from Higgins, who just kept that stick right between the wickets where you should, and unable to find the 5-hole was the Great Dane.
Got to say, though, Jumbo, you're looking good.
I appreciate it.
Some good progress. I'm going to be picking your brain for your secrets.
A lot of hard work, man. Salad and sweat. That is the key, Stamper. Salad and sweat.
I've gone through that before. I had a injury and things where I gained about 50 pounds once, lost it all, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I got nobody to blame for myself for getting that way. So, I got all these people saying, "Oh, great job," and I kind of want to say, like, there's nothing to congratulate me for. I did this to myself. So
this should be the steady state.
You got it.
Yeah.
Here's McLaughlin stepping in as we're back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. And Canada in possession in the stick of Curtis Dixon as he works in on Otting. Just outside the dotted circle, backdoor feed for Jackson. Got away from him, take a friendly bounce off the end wall. Here's McLaughlin inside to Smith, who goes over the shoulder of Higgins, and it's 2-0 Canada.
Tough break for Chris Friedman as it just skipped over his stick coming off the boards, straight out to Church. And Robert Church is a great passer, but you can also get away with a bit more. It's Eli McLaughlin. Another great passer. All you got to do, though, with Dane Smith is throw it in his vicinity, and he's got the hands.
Big, tall, lanky body. Just use that height to get that stick up nice and high and pot it over the shoulder of Higgins on the stick side. And 2 goals on 9 shots so far for Canada as Withers yanks another one free quickly. He'll shovel ahead. Picked up. Here's Rogers on the attack. Jackson, and he stopped by Higgins on a toe save as Jackson was looking for his second of the game. Ball knocked free into the pocket of Steve Priolo.
I was watching Jake Withers in the national anthem, and I've never really done that before. And he had his right hand going, like little cranks, I think he was just going mental reps on the faceoffs.
Sure, everybody does it different. Here's Jackson Dobie. Oh, Higgins, I'm not sure, might have got gloved, might have got crossbar. Either way, it stayed out. As Dobie usually money in the bank from that area of the floor, but a little help from the red iron in behind Zach Higgins, I think.
Nice poise by Kadish to come out, and that's one thing you'll see they have to adjust to, is feeling that pressure from Canada like they just got there and being able to make the plays that they know they can make, even with the Canadian team all over them. Ill-advised
pass there for Samish into traffic, and no way to get out of that as Canada gets the ball right back here. McLaughlin back out with Jackson, Smith, Dixon. Here's McIntosh coming on late. Dixon, a shovel feed, and what do we got? We got a penalty, or is that a push on the back?
It's a penalty.
It's going to be a penalty against Samish here. Big 85 for Israel. We'll head off to the cubicle of shame as Canada will head to the man advantage here. And again, they are deadly when they're even strength, never mind when they get up a man.
So I think the bar has been set, and these guys should have a pretty good idea. Well, they'll have to adjust both teams, because I would say that was similar to the Corbeil penalty. Not one you're going to see called very often, especially in the summer. If you're used to that, you got to dial things back a bit, especially on the back.
Dane Smith tucking. Here's Jackson. One more. Oh, what a stop from Zach Higgins. Call the cops. That's larceny right there from Zachary Higgins as he just stole one away from Ben McIntosh.
What a great pass by Shane Jackson, too. I thought he was shooting. I think a lot of people did, but he flicked that immediately for the pass.
My goodness. Dial that one up in the booth, boys. You're going to want to see that one again from Zach Higgins. It remains 2-0, and Canada remains on the man advantage. Church will play the point this time. McIntosh parked in the middle. A little box and one action here from the Canucks. Here's McIntosh with the quick release. As I've always kind of wanted to watch Dobie and McIntosh play together. Had a chance to do that with the Maple Ridge Birds this summer, and now here again in Team Canada, and they are just magic together.
Well, they both have such brilliant lacrosse sense, brilliant sense of space.
And just hands for days as well.
Yeah.
Like they catch everything. and can put balls in places where other guys just can't do it. Del Bianco fishing for a loose ball in behind his goal, and we're going to get a crease violation on Israel. A quick whistle here for Noble. Quick moving first quarter as well. Just over 3 minutes to go in it. 35 seconds to go on the penalty time to Semish. As Canada hanging on to this 2-0 lead here and working on their second power play. Church down to McIntosh in the corner. Cutting through is Doby and Stickett as he faked out Higgins, and that's a power play goal for Canada.
And you were prescient there, talking about Ben McIntosh and Dane Doby. They connect, and that is Ben McIntosh to a T. Being able to be down low, come up. I mean, he's so dangerous coming up out of this position. You have to respect that, and he's just going to make the pass instead, but he's got such a great touch. And Doby, like we talked about, finding space and then having the hands to do something with it.
And you can't ask Zach Higgins to stop that one every time,
No.
as it's Dane Doby. And incredible that at his age and amount of years and mileage on that frame that he's now playing his best lacrosse of his life.
I would not have pictured the season he had this year coming. He's always been a very good player. He stepped it up to truly elite.
Dixon to Jackson, 16 on the shot clock. Dixon to Dane Smith now, hard pick. Pass comes through, Jackson with time, 10 on the shot clock now. Shane passes off McIntosh, and a flexing arm stop there for Higgins to keep that one out as McIntosh getting some real good looks early in this game. 15-3 your shots on goal now as Canada leads at 3-0. Little split dodge here from Wolf. Looking, shooting, just missed far pipe as he had some room on the far side of the goal. Shetner will come up with a loose ball, but he's attacked immediately there by Rubish, who got picked off, and that'll draw a whistle.
Yeah, the illegal pick coming, so we're going to go back the other way.
Church ahead of the play, didn't get the feed. There's one area you kind of like to see Canada improve on, and I know it's maybe nitpicking a bit here, Stephen, is their transition game. They have not produced a ton in transition besides Zach Courier's. Doby rings the short side post.
Yeah, and I think it may be nitpicking, but you have to nitpick if you're the coaching staff, if you're the players, because the Iroquois coming up are going to be a bigger challenge than anything they've faced.
And keep them motivated, right? There's always room for improvement no matter what. And this coaching staff, led by Glenn Clark, Hazen, Coyle, and Molosky, will let them know.
What a brain trust.
My goodness.
Unbelievable.
An absolute wealth and a luxury to have the amount of high-quality coaches that we have in this nation here in Canada.
And you and I are fortunate enough that we both get to have conversations with these guys regularly. And I find I learn something or just get nuance. What a play.
Oh, that one's stuck on the goal line for Dixon and stayed out. If that one's on concrete or wood, it's in. Here on the turf at the LEC, it stayed out.
But you know, nuances every time you talk to these guys.
Some of my favorite conversations are always talking to coaches. I mean, they're so well-spoken, well thought out, and the knowledge inside the brain is unmatched. There's Rogers pushing back the other way. Challen Rogers on the move. He's got a step on his man. Pass off Church. Fake it, then float one high and over top of the goal. McIntosh on the back check here, trying to come back up with possession. Rogers will do the job as he twirls the wand one-handed and comes up with the loose ball.
Another situation, Chris Friedman this time, where I think he had more time than he thought.
No reset on the shot clock here, so Canada's got to go quickly. Doby will do it. Oh, Higgins again throws up an arm and stops Doby on the top of the crease. And now Israel with possession. Does Brad MacArthur want timeout here for Israel? Looks like they'll go on the fly. Higgins is going to stay in the goal, and I don't know, down 3-0 here. Why aren't you pulling the goaltender for a final possession of the quarter here?
And we've seen quite a bit of that this tournament. It's surprised me every time.
Yeah, I know it's Canada. You don't want to turn the ball over, and maybe that's the reason why right there. As Briello comes up with the stop, but I think you got to take your chances when you get them here against it. What's the difference whether it's 3-0 for you? Try and get a goal on the board here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You look down and you see Chris Corbeil, Graham Hossick, Kyle Rubish, and that. It's tough, but dangerous.
Down, sticks are down, blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse. And Withers out with a draw, and he's got numbers right off the bat. Withers shoots it right on. Higgins looking behind him, and he's got it trapped up in his gear.
That's 21 shots for Canada, 4 for Israel. It's actually 18-3 during the break, and as we're about to start the fourth, they updated it.
They usually tend to do that here at the LEC.
Oh, yeah?
Not surprised, Stephen Stamp, because
Okay.
I've called a couple of games inside this building.
That was a new one for me to see it pop up as we started the quarter.
Turnover there off the stick and out of play. Priolo wants to run ahead here with Dobie. He's got a trailer in Jackson, and Israel back on defense. It's Jake Elliott, Steven Stamp here with you on day 4 of the WILC. Dane Smith into the middle. Here's the roll for Dixon, and a late whistle again goes as Dixon was going to have a free path to the goal. I think it's the right call. I guess my issue is it just came like a second later than it should have.
3 steps
Yeah.
after he's already made the foul that they're calling.
If you think it's a call, blow the whistle. There's a chance maybe for Israel, and Del Bianco down makes the save. As Isaac Bach took it strong to the cage, but couldn't beat the Phenom.
It's got to be disheartening when you finally get through this defense, and there's Christian Del Bianco to stop you.
Or Dylan Ward,
Or Dylan Ward or Mike
Poulin.
Poulin. It's the same thing.
There's Church down to the crease. McIntosh on that swerving far side shot. Nobody does it better than 90 when it comes to that shot right there. As Mac finds the back of the goal to make it 4-0 Canada.
And the catch really just as impressive as the shot. You'll see Church makes the pass through. It's actually a little low and behind McIntosh. May have even been tipped off the defender's stick
What a
as it's
shot,
dropping
though.
down.
Just look at the finish and where this ball goes into the goal stamper. The reach, and that thing is right inside the crossbar and right inside the post. You can't place it any better. And those two right there in McIntosh and Church have been doing that since they've been about 6 years old. I bet you they've ran that play 5,000 times in their career. And I'm not even exaggerating. Here's Chetner on an inside spin. He'll kick it high. The pass was wide as Fisher will run it down. Takes a hard bump there from Withers, picked up by Corbeil. Here's Udding from the outside, and Del Bianco down. He looks to the Canadian bench. Here's Dobie coming off, brings in the pass. Dane Dobie faking, taking, and Zach Higgins took one away from Dobie. Now Corbeil will pick up, and he'll lob high here for Priolo. As how about the ball from Del Bianco in stride to Dobie coming off the bench?
Not the first time they've done that either.
No, true. Smith in, scores. Can't stop them all, and Dane Smith has his second of the game. It's 5-0 Team Canada.
Dane Smith, such quick feet for such a big man. Does a great job cutting through.
Maybe the most superior athlete on this Canadian squad. I think you got to put Hossack in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
But
That
Dane's,
acceleration right there as he gets Cantor, who's in not perfect position, but not too far behind, and then 2 steps and Smith's got him, and there's no catching him.
you know you're a good athlete when a defender knows exactly what move you're going to do. You know what move you're going to do, and they still
Do it
can't stop you.
anyway. Yeah.
I have yet to spot Steve Priolo's van out in the parking lot, but the man does dwell in a van as his residence. And I'm just not sure if he brought it over here to the LEC or not.
That's what I'm wondering. Had they gone back yet? Had he and Jackie driven back across the country and fly out?
I don't
or
think
is
so.
the van still here?
No, I'm pretty sure it's here. Just not sure if it's at the hotel parking lot or maybe here at the LEC. I haven't spotted it yet. Chetner. They'll run it wide. Down to 10 on the shot clock here as you find a man on the back door, and my goodness, Hossack just swatted the stick right out of Hopper's hands.
I did a story about Steve Priolo for Inside Lacrosse magazine that I wanted to title Steve Priolo, the most interesting man in lacrosse. They used a different headline, but I think that was apropos.
He's one of them, no question about it. Long shot from Eli McLaughlin, finds the back of the goal, and it's 6-0 as that one maybe the first one on Higgins that he would like to have back.
Yeah, I mean, they've been such great scoring chances in tight, some very high-quality chances, and that's one that McLaughlin's just going to let go from the top. Of course, McLaughlin, very sharp shooter, 5 goals the other night, rips it right over the screen. Higgins, though, looks like he saw it the whole way as the shot comes over top of the pick there.
Now, is Eli McLaughlin maybe one of the guys when I saw the Team Canada roster announced that I thought, and only because he had picked up a pretty serious injury in the NLL season and then again in the summer season, did not play a whole lot of lacrosse between, I want to say like May and September. Just didn't, he was hurt, so he didn't play.
Like
so
3 games or so, right?
Yeah, so I kind of thought, man, like maybe a better candidate, but if he's healthy, he's definitely deserving to be on this team, and he's proven that in spades here over the last couple of games.
And I mean, the one thing is there are another 4 or 5 guys just among lefty forwards you could say are deserving of being here. I mean, Mitch Jones was another candidate on the short list.
Of course, Jesse King, but he declared for Team England early, and that didn't work out for Jesse as well, as he picked up a broken thumb just before the Mann Cup started, and tough luck for the natural, who's had some real bad luck as far as injuries go right before big moments of his career. Dan Coates, speaking of coming off of injuries, injured an ACL before the outdoor tournament in Netanya, Israel, just over a year ago, and is returned to full strength and looking better than ever for
at
Coates.
The tryouts for Team Canada.
Yes. Here's Doby into a triple team. Now Dixon trying to make it happen on the crease. 3 on the shot clock. One-handed catch. Here's the pass. Dixon got to shoot it, and he hit the post, and that one goes out of play. Canada will get a reset as they used about 29 3/4 seconds to get that shot off. Doby now on the reset. Shoots quickly, and Higgins a shoulder save as that one sails out as well.
I'm not sure that one got the 30 rolling on that one.
Exactly. That one took about 1 3/4 seconds. Here's McLaughlin to McIntosh. Then McIntosh, Eli McLaughlin. Back to Dixon. Sidearm. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, Curtis Dixon has so many ways that he can shoot that ball and be effective, and he's just going to rip back, and if you give him time to load this up, he doesn't tend to shoot high a ton, but this one is just high to high, never wavering.
And Higgins down early, and rightly so. Like, he's got to protect when he sees that stick drop like that. That's just a hard sell from Dixon. He's going low and then pulls the string on.
And Higgins knows that Dixon loves that sidearm. He'll go sub shot. He will go those low shots a lot. So when he
Did I just hear you use sub shot, Steven Stamp? I love it.
I did a little copyright air quotes for you.
You're in the West. That's the time to use it. It's catching on. I like it.
I honestly, the first time I heard that was you obviously making that call, and I thought, I don't know how I didn't know that, but that's a great word, great term, so I started using it.
And people asking sub, what's the submarine, underneath, underhand. There you go. Doby down to the crease. Here's Jackson off the crossbar, and Church trying to find a loose ball in the sky, and it'll drop off the turf and into his pocket now, and another new 30 here as they just keep coming at you in waves to Canada. And they're out shooting Israel 28-6 now. Jackson over the shoulder. Church. Oh, Higgins. I mean, this game could easily be 12-0 right now if not for Zach Higgins.
Easily.
And they're going to get another possession here, are the Canadians. I mean, how long did Church have in front of the goal there? He put on 4 or 5 fakes, and Higgins was still able to stop him. Doby back in on a post up. Looking. You got to pressure the ball. In behind the goal now. Looking. Here's Doby shooting and scoring. Making it look easy now, our Team Canada.
And early in the game, it was interesting because Israel was looking not overwhelmed. It looked like they were fighting. They were kind of hanging in there a bit early. A couple of nice saves by Higgins. But now Canada has just found their seams, found their wrinkles, and it is shooting practice at this point.
Yeah, I think Israel, they're trying to pack the middle, keep the shots to the outside, but you pick your poison. Like, if you're going to stand back and pack the middle, they're just going to stand on the outside, pick you apart, looking around the floor with time and space. And if you pressure them, they're probably going to beat you one-on-one and get to the middle of the floor. So you got to find a happy medium somewhere. And
that last one wasn't it.
No, and it's a lot easier from up here than it is down there. Jackson to Doby. As Canada seems like they've been on offense pretty much the whole second quarter here, but now Semish comes up on the limp. Israel trying to come up the floor, bring it in one-handed, and then drop it, as Applebaum was going to have a chance, but just couldn't bring in the loose ball cleanly. And Canada back up into the zone quickly here with Rogers, who, by the way, won back-to-back MVPs as a transition man. And he'll stay up for a shift of offense, which is not foreign to him at all. Higgins again with a spectacular stop.
Yeah, 2018 he played almost exclusively forward for Oakville. I assume you're talking in MSL there.
Yes.
And because they were short, I mean, Rob Hellier was out with injury. They were missing a bunch of guys. But he would still go back and play defense. He would spend, 30, 35 minutes a game on the floor.
One of those 5-tool players, you can put him anywhere on the floor and he's going to be effective for you. And those are really becoming the players that are really in vogue in the sport of lacrosse right now, guys that can do it all.
Yeah, big, fast, athletic, stick skills, and lacrosse IQ.
Here's Matt Bierce, who captains the NLL team right here in British Columbia for the Vancouver Warriors. Now McLaughlin, who spends his winters in Colorado with the Mammoth. Now Church to Dixon. Into the middle, Jackson. Quick feed and was looking for Church on the back door. Gets his own ball back, or does he? Not quite yet. He's bodied off there and knocked down by Lundy, and they're going to give Israel the ball here.
Withholding?
I guess.
Laying on top of the ball.
Now Bach double teamed, and just to hang on. Israel again just stuck on 6 shots here so far. Bergman with a little bit of space. He'll play it across the floor into the far corner. No. And on the top here is Hossack. High man with the ball. You better move that, son. And he will. You don't want to play around there with the cyborg up high. As Del Bianco makes a save.
NLL teams make a point of telling their players not to go one-on-one with Graham Hossack at the top of the formation.
That should just be like a rule of lacrosse.
Yes.
Don't do it. Not going to end well for you. Dane Smith. He'll play it to Dobie. Out of the corner is McLaughlin. Has a look into the middle. McIntosh open, but it's Jackson instead. Loads up a cannon, and Higgins makes the save. And an outlet here to Hunting. 6.5 to go to recess here. Canada out shooting Israel 33-7 and outscoring them 8-0. As they look to remain undefeated, not only here in 2019, they've never lost a game stamp in the 4-year history of this tournament.
There haven't honestly been that many times it was close. The one obviously in Halifax.
Overtime against the Iroquois in the gold medal game.
That's why I said not many.
Way back when.
What a game that was.
Yes, indeed.
Jeff Zawicki, right, with the
I think that sounds
game
right.
winner?
That sounds right to me. Well, it's 67 for Wick. Great player he was. Here's McIntosh got caught by the Turf Monster.
And he played at the President's Cup this year.
Yes.
A little bit.
Number 18 Canada in the outdoor game as well. Coates from behind knocked the ball free momentarily. Now Bergman. Riolo with a stick on him. Now the switch off for Beers. Bergman down low, and Beers recovers with a stick check. Overcomes Cold and knock his man down. Play it up the floor, let it roll on the turf. Why not? It'll slow down for Coates. He's got Dobie across the floor. Coates, Dobie, and score it.
I can't think of a more dangerous lefty coming off the bench in transition than Dane Dobie. He's sneaky quick. He's got incredible hands, and he's got a nose for the net. You'll see Coates obviously is thinking past to Dobie the whole way, and Dobie just seems to be able to decide at the last possible moment where he's going to shoot the ball.
And one thing about Dane Dobie that I've kind of found out over the years, it doesn't matter how tired he is, how many times in a row he's gone out, he's always going to plant himself at the front of that gate because he wants to be the guy coming off the bench first every time.
Kurt Milosky literally just grabbed him by the back of the jersey and
pulled
him around someone else.
He'll shove his own teammates out of the way. He'll look off his coach. He wants to be the man. Dobie again, down to the crease. Jackson dropped as he took his eye off it. Applebaum will battle for a loose ball now. And you can't blame a guy for that. Like wanting, nothing worse than not knowing your assignment and getting out on the floor when you're supposed to be out there, but you can't blame a guy for wanting to be out on the floor every single shift.
He was also, not for the first time, the first guy off the floor to get a defender out there. He's responsible as well.
Much more so than he used to be, I will say that much.
Yes. We all grow, we all mature, right?
You'd like to hope so.
Fascinating relationship between him and Kurt Milosky.
That's crazy.
Over the years.
They've literally been attached at the hip since his days as a junior Laker in Burnaby back in, early 2000s?
Yeah, early mid.
They've spent their junior career together, their senior career together, their pro career together. And, I mean, I don't want to say a father-son relationship because they've won a championship together playing together, but the bond between Dobie and Milosky is unmatched. Penalty call coming here to Canada's Graham Hossack. And an opportunity here for Israel to get on the board with 4:12 to go in this second quarter.
Now, here's a question. You get the penalty, delayed penalty's coming, you then strip the guy and pick up the ball. Is it a cause turnover and a loose ball? And then, I guess it would be, right? Because then play is stopped.
Yes.
Yeah, so it counts.
You answered your own question, Stamper.
Yeah, so penalty, cause turnover, loose ball.
Why not?
Triple play.
Hopper gets away from Ribish. He'll shoot it. Del Bianco down in perfect form, makes the butterfly stop. Outlets and a tough handle there for Robert Hope, the three-time Mann Cup champion and the captain of the Peterborough Lakers. Your hometown, Stephen.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, he is a tremendous leader who I think a few people were surprised when he was named captain. Nobody in the team or around the team was.
Dixon on a quick stick. Higgins across in time to make the save, and Dixon will pick up the loose ball. Another chance to work off a 30-second clock here with 1:15 to go in the minor.
Hope replacing Scott Self, another long-time multiple Mann Cup winning captain, another quiet leader but a terrific player.
Now, whether it be the New Westminster Salmon Bellies, the Orangeville Northmen, the Peterborough Lakers, you don't get the C on your jersey in one of those towns unless it's deserving.
At Victoria Shamrocks, at
Junior
Coquitlam
Advents.
for sure.
Yes, a number of franchises, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
And what an honor it is for Chris Corbeil to wear the C here for Team Canada. And no debate, number 16 deserving of that honor as well.
Penalty coming.
Shetner working hard, but can't come up with that loose ball. But now a real opportunity here for Israel, as they'll get a two-man advantage for the next 29 seconds as Cole will be identified.
It was Fishman drawing the penalties. He took a shot off the backboard. It's fairly wild. Comes off the glass there, and it's going to come straight back to him, and Cole gets tangled up around him.
Here's the crazy part. Like, they just took off Hope and Rubish and Beers off their short man. They're a little bit tired, so let's bring out Corbeil, Priolo.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't Rubish because he's out there now, but you get the point. As he knocks down a pass, Priolo will pick up a loose ball. He'll run for open pasture as Corbeil up ahead. And Priolo will clear the zone, waiting for Hossack's time to expire now. That's down to 10, so they should be able to kill at least one of these off. As they hang on to the ball here with Jackson and Dobie, they bring out two left-handers because they are closer to the bench for the line changes. Dean Smith, the lone righty. Hossack says, should I stay out? Coaching staff says yes. There's only 5 on the shot clock, so you can go back and play some defense now. 2 minutes to go here in the half. Israel with a one-man advantage, being outshot 36-8, as it's a 9-0 Team Canada lead. Fishman, Shetner from the point, down to Bergman. Can they make it happen here for Israel? Around a screen. Here comes the shot, and it's right into the stick of Corbeil. Another chance, and Del Bianco a stick save as they really seem to be looking low on Del Bianco, but there's just nothing there.
There really haven't been holes. You know, I've got a friend here. The other day, Canada was down to 5-on-3, and I said, you know, the thing is, those are the 3 best defenders in the world playing that short-handed. You could argue a little bit, but you've got Rubish, Priolo, and Hossack out there.
Yeah. 3 nominees for the NLL Defender of the Year a year ago. The best lacrosse league in the world. Dixon from behind the goal and tried to stuff it there. A couple of oohs and ahs in the crowd, but Higgins stayed tightly up against his crossbar and kept that one in.
You've seen that before?
Hurt bounce past Steven Stamp. We had it right there to Jean-Luc Shetner.
That's the short hopper?
You betcha.
Okay.
Another suburb here in the lower mainland. Shetner scores. Power play goal for Israel. They're on the board. It's 9-1.
Shetner finds a hole, and again, going low. This time there was something there, and Shetner, who led all scorers at the European Championships 2 years ago in Turku, Finland, and has got off to a fairly good start here. Had 5 assists yesterday in Israel's last game, and this time dials it up and rips one home, a nice low bouncer.
Yeah, regardless of the outcome of this game, you can expect a text from JLC to CDB after this game saying, I gotcha. Good friends off the floor, and Shetner and Del Bianco. As Paul will get possession here as we're in the final minute of this opening half. And Israel has cracked the goose egg here on Team Canada. Shetner down low, looking, bounced one wide as he took his eye off the target. The ball went sailing. As Israel will keep it on the right side of the timeline here, but late in the shot clock. Look at the strength there. My goodness. As Rogers literally just picked up Fishman and slammed him to the turf.
Look at the work. It's, Jean-Luc Chetner there, and what work to go and get that ball back.
And Israel will call timeout here. Oh, goodness.
Set things up. Yeah. And Rogers isn't the one you think of as the big guy. Okay, here's the little story. Somebody was telling me they were talking to one of the Canadian coaches, and Glenn Clark asked all his coaches, okay, put together your press team, which is the 5 guys if you need the ball back at the end of the game, the 5 guys you send out, and your press team if you need to score, so the guys in the hands. And they said, they're looking down and they said, oh, you've got Challen Rogers in parentheses as a guy to put in if somebody else isn't available. And they were saying, how is Challen Rogers not on your press team? And then they looked to the left, to the main column, and it's Rubish, Corbeil, Priolo, Hossack, and I can't even remember who the 5th was. And they said, oh, that's how. It might have been like Dixon or somebody because you need to get the goal. They're like, okay, that's why. It's an embarrassment of riches.
It really is. It really is. And I hate to kind of feel like we're just oozing and ogling over Team Canada's roster, but it's just warranted. Like
everybody else does.
Yeah. So here we go. Final 12 seconds of the half here. Shot clock off. In comes Wolf. Israel wants to go quickly here. 5 seconds. Chetner out wide. 3 seconds. Got to get something towards the goal. Ball turned over. Chance at an empty net. No. Robert Hope will run out of time. All right, Lacrosse fans, welcome back inside the Langley Events Center here in the Arena Bowl. World Indoor Lacrosse Championships on Lac Sports Network, TFSE TV. Jake Elliott, Steven Stamp with you as we start the second half here between Israel and Canada. Blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. We're underway as Canada leads 9-1 as they outshoot Israel in that opening 30 minutes, 37-10. And a new goaltender between the pipes here for Israel. Stamper.
Jared Jensen comes in. He's played several times with Gold Star Tel Aviv and with Israel at the E-Box and the Alice Trubetsky tournament.
Canada on offense here for this first possession. Dane Toby with it. Whip it across to McIntosh. Church probably could have played it as well. But the shot goes wide and Israel holds on their first possession on defense. Jared Jensen wearing 88 for Israel in goal now. This is Fishman. Forget, coming up next, 7:30 Pacific time right here on Lac Sports Network. Iroquois, the Nationals, will take on the Three Lions in Team England.
What a game for England last night. That was an absolute thriller and huge growth for English lacrosse shown in that game.
And what a goal for Dahoga Nanticoke as well. I know you had a front row seat for that one, and it's making its way around the social media channels. My goodness, that was impressive. And I think the most impressive thing is, we'll talk about it next game, as Jackson gets one here to make it 10-1. But it was with the speed that he did it at, and he was going at full bore to pull that off and then slam into the end wall afterwards was just incredible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this one by Jackson, a little bit simpler, just takes the pass down the slot and tucks it home. But Dahoga Nanticoke could just, I mean, he was, like you said, full throttle, a defender on either side of him. Perfect pass from Warren Hill, for one thing, to get it through to him.
And it was almost like it was the right shot at the right time. Like, he wasn't trying to do it to be a showboat. He just pulled it off because it came natural to him, and his imagination works differently than a lot of different guys, and that's just what came into his mind. This is the shot that I should do right now.
Like, it's just obvious. This is what's available. This would work, you know. Let's see, what's there for me? One hand between the legs, around the back between the legs. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, the thought process that is the shot to take. You have to have that remarkable skill set, the hands like he does, to even think that way.
Only a few on the planet possess that. Here's Doby trying to get inside. And backhand shot there, stopped by Jensen. But McIntosh first to the loose ball is out and gives him a two-hander. And McIntosh says, don't do that. I don't even have the ball anymore. It's gone. Church, McIntosh darts away from Udding this time, shoots and scores, and that's how you pay back that. As McIntosh has a look over to Udding and says, keep doing that, I'll keep scoring.
And you know, they probably will. If you keep giving them that space. And it's again, one of the things that you're seeing from this Canadian team is the fundamentals, the footwork, the hands, the positioning, the floor vision. They're not doing a bunch of fancy stuff.
Yep, textbook. And this just coming in here, Stamper. Apparently, Priolo's van is, in fact, in the parking lot here at the Langley Event Center. I believe Pri is staying at the hotel with Team Canada, and his mother is using the van here for the week in the Langley Event Center parking lot.
Very cool.
Why not?
Yeah. Jared Jensen, by the way, from Aurora, Ontario, went to Guelph University, played as Junior A in Brampton. A couple of seasons there after some Newmarket Junior B.
All right.
Did spend a season in Nanaimo in 2015, so he's no stranger to the West Coast.
McIntosh looking for another. Really? I don't recall that.
2015.
Okay. McIntosh will get to a loose ball, just laying harmlessly on the turf. And lob it back high for Curtis Dixon with this 11-1 lead. Now McIntosh behind the rack. Looks in front, nobody open. Lob it high here to Dobie. Delayed call coming on, and Canada's going to get identified for too many men as Cole stepped off the bench. He's still in the change box, but the official says, you know what? You're going to the penalty box anyway.
Rada Koshkal really does not like guys stepping out of the box or stepping. He is very much a strict by the rules guy. He will, I mean, honestly, if you have your door open on the bench, he will stand there and just keep telling you over and over, close the door, close the door.
Stickler.
Yes.
All right, power play time here for Israel, and that's how they manufactured their first goal on the man advantage. And they could use another here. Skip feed. Oh, Del Bianco. Stick save. On a surefire goal there, goes sliding across and takes one away. He hasn't needed to stop many, but that clearly his best of the game right there.
Talked about it with Mike Poulin the other night. When you're not facing a lot of shots, it's not always easy to stay sharp, but Del Bianco clearly head still well in the game.
Yeah, some goaltenders like the action. They like steady barrages of shots, and it's tough to kind of keep your concentration sometimes when you're only facing a shot every couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm. Matt Vincent, an example that jumps to the top of the head. He doesn't mind a lot of shots as long as they're coming from where he wants to see them.
And he'll let you know if they're not coming from where
he
wants to see them.
Immediately.
I'm sure Vino tuned in here tonight wishing he was with his Team Canada members, but a new father deciding to take this round off here for, well, probably the greatest goaltender to ever play the sport of box lacrosse, Stamper. I don't know how you argue it.
Yeah, I mean, you could put forth arguments for some other guys, but if you said he's not at least on par with the greatest of all time, then you're crazy.
Stack up the numbers and rings with other greats, and
Vino's, the big performances, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the key performances, the championships, just a tremendous goalie.
Two-man, if Canada did this last time, they took a penalty, they took a second one as well, and now it's a two-man advantage here for Israel. And a lengthy one at that. Wolf, Shatner, a sub shot and a stop there for Del Bianco. That's back in. As it came out of the pocket of Priolo back into the crease of Del Bianco. And Israel will get a fresh 30 here on this 5-on-3 man advantage. As they look to get goal number 2. Wolf, Shatner loads, shoots high. Hosek plays the carom off the end wall, shivers off a check there. Now a shoulder as he just bounces off a Wolf.
And Adam Wolf shouldn't feel badly about that because a lot of guys just bounce off of Graham Hosek.
McIntosh will give it to Dixon on a low feed. As the former Delaware Blue Hen with a little show pony kick, now darts into the middle and shoots and scores. Love the show pony kick, Stamper, and Dixon does too as he makes it 12-1. 2 men shorthanded there for 17. Watch it here. Here it is.
Yep.
Couple.
And then the quick dart. The change of direction for Curtis Dixon. We've talked about some of the skill sets, some of the kind of unique attributes some of these guys have. For Dixon, I think one of them is the change of direction with power.
Maybe the toughest one-on-one matchup in the sport.
I think so. Sometimes the toughest 1-on-3 or 1-on-4 matchup in the sport.
Touche. I think a case could be made for Lyle Thompson in that department as well.
Very different styles, right? I mean, Thompson will go around you more. Dixon will go through you and around you and over you.
Church Another slippery offensive player, as he can really find a way to create his own shot at any notice too, as well as this man right here in Dane Smith. As he looks for it here, not this time. McLaughlin tried to hit Church on the cut, and the shot clock will expire here. As it's crazy to think that they're manufacturing really good looks. Not only one man down, but two. But just one now with 40 seconds to go in the penalty time to Matt Beers. Being the in-home serving the bench minor here for Team Canada for this game. From the top side, Shetner down low. It's Hopper, scores.
Great shot.
Brian Hopper from Netanya, Israel, makes it 12-2 on the power play goal from the point.
And loaded up, ready to go, gets that ear cocked up, or the stick cocked up by the ear as soon as that ball is there. He did have to cross the face to get that pass, as you'll see when it comes back, but he gets it away so quickly once he's decided to go.
Pulls it short side, stick side on Del Bianco. And an early move this time on Withers once again. And you know Jake doesn't want to do that. I think he's pretty comfortable winning draws and just giving free possessions away by not waiting for the whistle. Well, Paul will take possession as he gets away from Rogers, who took a stick up high. As he gives it back to Paul now as he shoves him aside. Dunk attempt there, almost went for Bergman. Ball loose in the corner as Withers and Shetner go after it together, and a push on the back on Jake Withers. The former Ohio State Buckeye will draw a push and a new 30 here for Israel. Eric Fisher hasn't got a lot of playing time here for Israel, but he's out there now. Smaller, diminutive right-hander. Surveying the floor as he comes into the middle now. He'll kick it off. Shetner the whip, and a penalty call coming here is, no, just a change of possession as Withers went down awkwardly. And now we got a penalty call coming here, I think, for too many men on Israel.
Illegal pick called at the one end, and it looks like there was a bunch of Israeli players loaded up at the door. I didn't really see it.
The possession stopped, and then it changed, and then they just started making the change. And I don't think the first player was to the bench yet, and they sent the man off the back end. I think. Pretty tight if they're calling that one.
Yeah.
McIntosh off the crossbar and stays in here for Dane Smith. New 30 for Canada, 6 on 5. Dixon from the point. Doby, backhand feed, wide of Church, and this one's going to get to the center line. Save there. Church with good hustle. Oh, he overran it one-handed, and Semish able to pick it up.
Church going too, but I mean, Dixon, that shows you the kind of player that Curtis Dixon is. That here you are, up 12-2. You've got the extra man out for the delayed penalty. The ball gets away, and the hustle he showed to go after that ball. You don't have to go get that ball, but that is a character play.
And that's the responsibility that you have when you put the maple leaf over your head. You have to play a certain way if you want to play for Team Canada, and Dixon knows that. Everybody does.
He's done it before. Obviously a member of the 2015 team that won.
And also 2016 in Denver with the outdoor team, or the field lacrosse team, if you will. Jackson, backdoor for McIntosh. A lot of discussion, outdoor, indoor, field, box, what you prefer, what it should be called. Toby with the 13th goal here for Canada, 20 seconds on the man advantage. It's 13-2. Where do you come out on this? Are you okay with indoor, box lacrosse? What do you like?
I'm okay with indoor, but I think field and box makes sense because I've been at field lacrosse games indoors that are in covered stadiums, covered areas.
And you've probably seen a box lacrosse game
I've been
outdoors.
to many. I've called many a game at an outdoor box and Radar team.
When you start as a youngster, too, that's the floor time you get is outdoors on the old rocky concrete.
Yeah, played down at the
I'd like to see it
down
go
the bowl downtown in Peterborough.
World Box Lacrosse Championships to me just sounds right.
Yeah.
And
Europeans, they do go European Box Lacrosse Championships. They don't go indoor. That'll actually be in 2 years from now in Hanover, Germany, they've announced. So
something to think about. Something to talk about, something to think about. Let me know where you come out at. We haven't handed out the Twitter feeds yet here tonight. As Dane Smith pots another. It's 14-2. If you want to get a hold of Steven Stamp via Twitter, you can do so at StampLax. And myself, you can find at PXP, the number 4, Sports, at Stamplax, at PXB for Sports. Let us know where you come out. You like indoor, outdoor, you like field or box? Or do you care? Or do you not care?
While you're handing out Twitter handles, we see Ben McIntosh handing out a sweet feed inside to Dane Smith. And boy, this is just way too much room to give Dane Smith. I mean, there's 3 blue jerseys about 8 feet away from him, and none of them close enough to do anything about it. It's tough because there's so many weapons that you have to watch out for, but Dane Smith alone on top of the crease, you just can't let that happen.
Withers will come up with a loose ball off the draw. 7 minutes to go. Jake Withers to the cage, and he put that one wide on the shot.
Brian Cole looks like he'll stay up for an offensive shift. He played offense the other night, the entire game for Canada, but did go back, played a couple of D shifts later in the game, and he's playing D tonight primarily.
And he's a player that's really developed into the box game and has really taken to it and started to thrive. Dixon kicked away there by the Israeli goaltender Jensen.
Yeah, Brian Cole from Oakville, Ontario, played for the Oakville Rock. I believe played for the Buzz for a bit. I'd have to double check that one.
As he gets a goal, that's Eli McLaughlin on the setup for Dobie, but just wasn't a real predominant pro box lacrosse player, and now has kind of really arrived on the scene, has Cole, has made a name for himself, and people are, I mean, obviously when you make Team Canada, you're making a name for yourself, but he just, like, for me, it wasn't on the radar 4 years ago, and now he's playing a prominent role, and that's just the kind of development that he's had over the last few years.
I was a little surprised at how high he went in the draft, 6 or 7 overall to Georgia, but they really liked the versatility he brings and the size, and he's I like him too. Yeah, and I'll tell you, that is a big part of why he's on this team, the ability to play both. He showed it last year with Georgia, getting a hat trick in one game when they pressed him into service up front when they needed one night, and things like that go a long way to showing that you can be a valuable depth member of this team.
Jackson on the drop shot there, and Jensen no trouble as he outlets nicely here to Udding on the run. Maybe a chance in transition. Udding's going to get to the front of the goal, and Del Bianco will stop him on the doorstep. As a good run up floor there for Udding, but on the wrong side, just couldn't get it past Del Bianco.
Great effort, great hustle.
Good pass from Jensen. Under 5 we go. Shots now 48-13. Canada leading Israel 15-2. This has been McIntosh out of Coquitlam, British Columbia, to Shane Jackson out of Whitby, Ontario. And he missed McIntosh on the give and go feed. Hard pass across to Applebaum. A good one in stride. Applebaum running hard. Drop it down. Scores!
Beautiful goal by Daniel Applebaum. Takes the great outlet pass. And Applebaum, who almost scored a beauty last night, driving to the net. And you're going to see he just puts his shoulder down, sees he's got the step, goes hard to the net, stays out of the crease, and he's a young man who's very athletic, 27 I believe, and he is very talented, definitely a field lacrosse player who's making the transition to box lacrosse, and he is a sponge. He has told me, every time I'm coming off the floor, I'm asking Brad MacArthur and the guys, what can I do? What did I do here? What should I do? And they are coaching him hard, and he is enjoying it.
Well, you can't, like, as a coach, when you got players coming off and going, did I do that well? What should I do? Like, you can't help but want to help those kind of guys. Like, you want to coach those kind of guys up that want to learn. They want the knowledge. McIntosh, that one didn't come out of the pocket cleanly. Dean Smith will just body off Udding for a loose ball.
Bradford Photography is with us on Twitter saying, yep, field and box. Okay. Should be the World Box Championships. So there's one more vote.
One vote for that. As Chetner just gets across the timeline, he's going to be double teamed, finds an open man nicely in Bob.
You asked the question, you didn't answer it for you. You a field and box guy?
Yeah, I think I am. I think for most Canadians, that's going to be their answer. That's what we grew up with, and I get it's a bigger spectrum, it's a bigger picture than that for the world to kind of grab a hold of, but to decipher indoor, outdoor, it doesn't really tell you what it's about. I think when you say field, you know you're playing on a field, and when you say box, you know there's going to be boards around you.
Yep, 100%.
My 2 cents. Applebaum looking for his second. And pass just got away from him as Del Bianco makes the pirouette and fires up floor here to Eli McLaughlin. We'll give it back to Dane Doby from Elora, Ontario. Now resides here in the province of BC. Kick it across to Church on the step back, and Jensen standing tall. Very tall goaltender as well is Jared Jensen. Towering over top of the crossbar. Up there where you are, Stamper, maybe.
He's getting there. I believe he's about 6'5", 6'6", so not quite, but he's in the neighborhood.
Well, that's my neighborhood.
Yeah, there you go.
Jean-Luc Chetner with 13 on the shot clock and 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Paul sizing up, shooting. Del Bianco a good stop. And look at how quickly he controls that rebound, pops up, and outlets the ball. And Canada is up floor into the offensive zone with 23 seconds to work with.
Always impressed by Del Bianco's quickness with the hands and the feet and the head.
Lightning quick. And that's a skill. You know, it's not every goaltender has that attribute in their game where they can go from making a save to getting the ball in their pocket and getting it up floor as quickly as Del Bianco does.
And as accurately. I mean,
Yes.
he's a great passer of the ball when he gets in that position.
And he could literally throw one away in the most important spot of the game, and he'll do it again come overtime or whatever the case. Like, he's undeterred whether if he throws one away by accident or makes a bad pass, it's not going to stop him from trying it again right away.
Penalty coming with a Canadian player down on the floor. I think it's
Offensive
Fisher.
penalty. Yes, it is, as it's Coates picking himself up off the turf here. As I didn't see it from Fisher, maybe we'll get a replay of it. He doesn't like the call.
Players seldom do.
As they start to play running time. I was wondering whether they did this in the blue division or not. Once you get to the 12-goal spread here, Stamper, they start to play running time.
Yeah, they have done it. It has happened in some blue division games already. So one thing about Del Bianco in his rookie season in the NLL, he did throw a lot of passes away, and he really learned when to throw it and when not to with that shot by McIntosh.
But on the flip side of that, Kurt Milowski said, like, don't stop doing that. He didn't, like, discourage him from trying it. Just said pick your spots a little bit better.
100%.
Oh, a shot there rings the crossbar. It got past Del Bianco, but not into the goal as Flapin with a good attempt. Now McIntosh takes his man down, gets an extra chop in for good measure, and he's off to the penalty box.
And that's fairly obvious when the guy's on the floor in front of the referee in front of you.
Absolutely, as the buzzer sounds to end third quarter action. 45 minutes down, 15 to go here. Set to go here from the World Championships for quarter number 4. Canada out shooting Israel 50-17. The score is 15-3 for the Canadians. With a quarter of action to go as McIntosh will take a seat in the penalty box. Fisher is already in there, so we begin quarter 4, 4-on-4. As blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. As Flapin wins the draw, but Canada comes up with possession in the stick of Brian Cole.
And we're up to about 6-0 for Field and Box.
Yes. Should maybe throw a poll up, Steve.
Maybe I will.
Why not? Keep yourself occupied there. There's Dane Smith. Shane Jackson. They'll make a move into the middle. Play off to Smith. Quick pass across to Doby on a set play there. These are the opportunities for Canada that, you know, a 4-on-4 situation. They're going to find themselves in this sort of thing in a semifinal or a final, and a chance to work on some set plays for 4-on-4 lacrosse. Ball goes out of play. It's Canada ball. So Iroquois and England come up next. 7:30 Pacific time. So maybe we can get some scores from earlier today as well, Stamper, when you can dial up the scoreboard after you start up your poll there.
Do we
Make
want
sure
a
you
third
tag
option?
me on that. Tag me on that thing.
Yes. Do we want a third option of don't care, or are we just going with the 2?
I'll leave. Surprise me.
Okay.
Surprise me, Stamper.
It's up.
Okay. So now give me some scores from earlier today when you get a chance. Here's Jean-Luc Chetner. Priel all closing the gap. Into the middle. Here's Chetner one more time. Hard pass across. Knocked down by Dixon. Back playing defense as we saw Curtis Dixon kind of flexing out one of his legs in the quarter break there. And we'll see how much floor time 17 gets here in the fourth quarter with bigger games on the horizon here for Team Canada. And I want to make sure everybody is as healthy as can possibly be heading into the medal rounds.
Got a couple of scores in here. Czech Republic beating Germany 11-6 in the opener here in the Arena Bowl. They actually trailed 6-4 after the third quarter and a 7-0 fourth quarter. Huge run by Czech Republic. And Switzerland and Netherlands playing over the Fieldhouse at the 10:30 game. It was 15-10 for the Netherlands, a real riser of a country.
Yes, Netherlands newcomers to the World Championships have made a couple of statements here already through 4 days of action with some big wins, and probably should have another one as they really kind of gave one away to Serbia a couple of days ago, had a lead in the fourth quarter and just let it slip away. They could easily be undefeated.
Serbia are the comeback kids, though.
My goodness,
we'll
are they ever.
Slide one more score in here as they were down 15-11.
Yeah, this is crazy.
To Hong Kong and won 22-16. Outscored them 11-1 down the stretch in the third and fourth
I
quarter.
turned that game off. I thought Hong Kong's got this. Kind of started doing some other things around the house before it came out here, but give Serbia some credit. That's the second time they've come from a long way back to pull out a victory in the second half, and in the fourth quarter in particular, led by Ilya and Alexander Gaich and my man Nick Bilic.
Yeah, and I mean, Ilya Gaich was magical. He's running on pretty much one leg. He's got
Scores,
shot by Chetner.
Finds the 5-hole.
Great shot, another bouncer for Chetner, finding that spot and just a bit of a lean to get that stick dead overhand. And rips one home. Lovely shot.
You can
by
tell
Jean-Luc.
Dale Bianco not particularly happy with that one as he kind of shakes his head back and forth, knowing he let his buddy Chetner beat him for the second time. And that went right through the wickets.
Nice little pick by Kyle Bergman, the pick, and then the repick with the back pick here just gets in the way of Robert Hope. And Bergman, known as a sniper, but that is what you do, obviously, if you want to be effective, is help your teammates and set up some space. But yeah, Ilya Gaich, one leg heavily taped. He's been limping the whole time he's playing here since early on in the tournament, and he was sensational. Alexander Gaich and Nick Bilic. Also, Stefan and Spencer Chris, the brothers from Lexington, Kentucky, had fantastic games.
Here's McLaughlin. Oh, man, had him on the corkscrew and missed on the short side on a beautiful fade from Doby. But the spread now 11 after that goal from JLC, Jean-Luc Chetner. And taking his eye off of that one, here's Fishman. And Del Bianco got a chunk of that, turns it aside. Fishman the loose ball, spins the wand on Corbeil and takes it into the corner. The bodies hit the turf in front of the goal now. Sub shot, look out, is that one will go off the netting, stay in here for Matt Beers. Looks up, gets the whistle. Doby and all alone on goal. Doby! Count it. It's in the goal. Is it not? Oh, it didn't go in.
Oh, what a save, Jared Jensen.
Oh, Doby was reacting like that was in, and I'm so used to that ball going in. Yeah, Jensen stopped him.
Very similar shot to the one he took earlier, scoring on Zach Higgins.
There's a pick off from Kyle Rubish, best in the business at doing that right there. Now what do we got?
Chetner for an illegal cross check.
It's Hosek behind the play, and again another really late whistle. Like the player is 10 yards away from Hosek when the official's making the call.
Right, of course, Rubish had the ball when it was called.
And it's a 2-minute check from behind here on the sideboard.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll get a replay of this or not. It was so far away from the play, I didn't see it.
Scotland also down Mexico 20-7 today.
That's good for the Scots as they needed one.
Make their return to World Lacrosse Championships.
Yeah. And doing it right now, just very similar to Germany. Both those teams, essentially all homegrown talent, aside from the goaltenders.
England going that direction as well, moving towards that way. Finland almost all Finnish guys.
And these are nations that have been around a couple of world championships. This is Israel's second time around. They're starting to get more homegrown talent as well. And I think, Hopi just took one right in the ear hole there and standing right in there. And there's a shot and a goal from Paul on the power play.
Zachary Paul, always one of Israel's steady scoring threats. And again, just unleashing one from the outside and finding a spot past Del Bianco. After it's tracked down by Chetner, Simple pass, nobody out on him, and that's just a shot and finding a spot.
I think that makes it 15-5 if I'm not mistaken. They haven't updated the scoreboard quite yet. As the clock continues to tick, now they do. Shots on goal 54-21, 15-5 your score, Team Canada.
Which will differentiate us from the game going on in the field house, because it's 15-4 for Finland over Costa Rica.
Okay.
And we're the exact same for a moment.
Well, good for the Costa Ricans to get a few, as, man, that looked like it was in. I didn't thought it was in as well, but it stayed out. As Canada getting a little lackadaisical here in this fourth quarter with a 10-goal lead.
I called the Australia-Costa Rica game that opened the tournament, and it was 20-0. Costa Rica got a goal late. Daniel Quesada. Penalty coming out front as McIntosh is separated from his stick.
Wow.
And one of the Aussies told me we were cheering for them on our bench when they scored.
Yeah.
They were so excited.
Australia, one of the classier teams here at the tournament, is they kind of let up on Costa Rica as far as trying to score goals against them.
Not pushing it to the net in transition, running a lot of long sets.
And that's the right thing to do. And I got to give a shout out to Costa Rica and a near and dear friend of mine in Dr. Don Hedges, who is essentially responsible for lacrosse even existing in Costa Rica. And I can't imagine the pride and emotion that he must have. And it's not about the results for Costa Rica by any means, but just to see them here in his home country playing in the World Championships has got to be just heartwarming for him, as Jackson on the back door with a quick stick finish.
You talked earlier about how he's one of the best on the back door there, and just perfect touch. Lovely feed by Dane Smith, and Jackson just smooth as silk with the catch and the shot in one fluid motion.
And you're wondering, well, how does Jackson keep doing this? Well, he puts himself in a position where the defender doesn't think he needs to mark him, because he's essentially below the goal line, but his stick is still above the goal line. But look at the angle that he's scoring from, and as a defender playing that low crease in the short man, you're thinking, well, he's not going to score from there. I don't have to check him over there.
The overhead shot really shows you that, right?
Yeah.
You don't see the angle as much from the other shots, than you see it from there, and it's almost a straight line across.
But the guy has literally been doing that his entire career, and he continues it here at the World Championships as it's 16-5. Here's Church. Scores as that one just trickles in.
Jensen had it for a moment. Just ran down through him.
And it's almost like Canada said after Israel got those couple, all right, enough of this. You want us to crank it back up? Here you go.
They may have poked the bear a little bit.
So clock continues to roll here. 5:45 to go in this fourth quarter. And Canada in full control, up 17-5. They'll go 3-0 in the round robin. They will get the Iroquois Nationals tomorrow night to wrap up round robin competition. Monday night we'll finish things off. And that's the one that everybody circled coming in to this tournament. Can't wait for that one.
Uh-oh.
And I think Fisher going to take another penalty here. I like the spunk, the tenacity, but maybe biting off a little more than he can chew here with Brian Cole for Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher's not going to back down. I mean, he is tough as nails. He will absolutely. And you know what? You don't have the success in the box lacrosse game that Eric Fisher has if you don't, at his size, if you don't have a little bit of bulldog in you.
No doubt. So offsetting minors will continue 5-on-5 here. Israel saying it should be their ball, and I tend to agree, but I think maybe it was Fisher that took the second penalty, and that's why Canada's going to get possession. It was literally simultaneous, and you could flip a coin to give possession to either team here, but Canada gets the ball. 5-on-5, 4:20 is what remains. Jackson, McLaughlin. Here's Dane Smith. Jackson doesn't shoot that time. Still lots of time on the shot clock as McIntosh loads it. Oh, that went off the elbow of Jensen into the corner, and Dobie with a one-handed pickup. In behind the goal, avoids the crease. The whistle went to the mouth, but didn't blow. And Canada will continue here with 22 to work with. Inside, McIntosh off the... How many posts has Ben McIntosh had in this one?
I don't know. The balls are turning red from him shooting.
He is so accurate from in tight. And sometimes maybe a little too accurate for his own good.
And that's no accident. The guys are hitting posts. I mean, you're going for the inside of that post, right?
Absolutely.
I remember watching Colin Doyle in a summer game, last guy off the floor in warm-up, and he just sat there pinging balls in off the inside post, the inside of the post, just working on it.
It's incredible.
And his hit rate was probably, his success rate was probably around 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Don't doubt it. Dixon with a step backer, and Jensen had to get in front of it, and that's a heads-up shot there for Curtis Dixon to put it off the turf, to bounce it off the goaltender in a trajectory that's going to send it out of play, just to get the reset. He's not even trying to score there, just trying to get himself a new 30 seconds to work with. What's our poll running at so far, Steve?
Just pulling it up.
McLaughlin put it wide. 8 on the clock here for Dixon. Under 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter now. Dixon tried to feed to the crease to Church. Oh, and then he hit Church with the shot. That stung me a little bit as he took that one right in the hip.
I winced. We have 82 votes so far, 95% in favor of box and field over indoor and outdoor.
Okay, well, I don't know if the folks at World Lacrosse are listening or checking your poll or not, Stephen, but something to think about moving forward.
Graham Perro, who is a
I
colleague.
like the rebranding from FIL to World Lacrosse.
I do too.
I think that's a smart play. I'm actually trying to get CEO of World Lacrosse, Jim Shear, on the podcast this week. Lacrosse Classified coming at you Tuesday. Every Tuesday for Lacrosse Classified. Got that plug in. I'm trying to book Jim Shear, CEO of World Lacrosse, this week.
Appointment listening.
Thank you very much. Myself and Evan Schemenauer, who is actually here inside the arena taking in some World Indoor Lacrosse Championships. Made the trip from Saskatoon.
Right over there, I believe. I think we can. Oh, he's not there right now. He's been perched in a spot we could see him from here most of the time he's gone here.
He's a man amongst the people right now, making the rounds. As Priola will settle down as we're under 2 minutes now, 1:40 to go, and Canada looking to remain perfect. Somebody tweeted at me, did I say that Canada has never lost a game at the World Championships? And yes, in fact, it is true at the Box Lacrosse Championships. They have lost a field game or two, of course, but have never lost in the 4-year existence here of the World Championships of the indoor or box lacrosse variety.
Yeah, and as we said, there was the one overtime against the Iroquois Nationals in the final, the gold medal game in 2007 in Halifax.
Jean-Luc Chetner, who's got 2 out of the 5 here for Israel, coming in. Loses Coates as he fires back across. Here's Paul, and a kick stop from Del Bianco.
That's a nice save on a pretty well-placed shot by Zachary Paul.
Yeah, and if you're Glenn Clark and company, Stamper, before we get to the end of this one, with the game coming up against the Iroquois Nationals, you go back to Dylan Ward tomorrow night. Is that the move? I think it is.
I would think so. That would be my inclination. I mean, it's so hard to tell. They've all played very well, but I think Wardo's your guy.
Shot block there, and now game clock, shot clock just about even here. I wouldn't even expect Canada to take a shot as Rogers and Shetner have a little conversation on the turf here near the end of this one.
Dixon did come out and play fairly regularly in the fourth, so that's good news. A good sign for the team that he's feeling better, getting it loose and moving.
It's hard to pull rubber, man. Like I don't know how you pull your muscle when you have rubber legs like Curtis Dixon. Shot clock will expire. Dobie will just give it to the official here, and that will do it in this one. Your final shots on goal. Canada throws 57 towards the Israeli goal, and they get 17 into the back of it. Israel manufactures 24 shots. They get 5. Your final score here, Team Canada goes 3-0. So far here at the World Championships with a 17-5 victory over Team Israel. I know they don't do players of the game down on the floor here, Stamper, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to pick one for each team.
All right, I'm going to go maybe slightly off the board for Israel and go Daniel Applebaum. Very nice goal. Played some good minutes. Could go with Chetner there. I'm going to go with Applebaum. And for Canada, I tend to like to go with the D guys. And boy, it's hard to pick. I think honestly, I think Rubish was fantastic again.
All right.
You?
I don't want to disagree with you, but I will pick a couple of those. I think Zach Higgins kept this game way closer than it should have been right off the get-go as he'll go down the line with handshakes here. And on Canada's side, I thought Ben McIntosh was a dangerous lacrosse player all night long. I haven't looked at the final stats. I don't know if you want to pull those up quickly.
I like both your picks. by the way.
So good sportsmanship shown here by both teams as Canada and Israel will shake hands to end off this one.